this is going to be an accessory overall review video. I did one in the past, all the accessories I bought for the Model 3. This should also apply to other cars, Model Y, etc. In general, what I've really enjoyed and used all the time, and other things I actually totally forgot about, or it's really up to you on what you value for aftermarket purchases. So if we get started, one of the items that I use all the time is this humidifier. And this is a mini humidifier, and I have it hooked up to a USB cable, which is plugged into the power. So get a USB and it plugs in here. And if you're in a dry climate, this is really helpful for the in-cabin comfort, and I use it nearly daily. You may have seen it in other videos, so I would still buy that every time. In addition to that, there is as part of this console, there's an insert for drinks. So it's right here. And this is something that I've really enjoyed because it really does cut down on like bottles rattling and feeling more secure, and it blends in nicely. And the company that makes this, like the color really blends in with the vehicle. They make a few, and that's been really nice. For the back of the car and the other parts of the interior is the sunshades. So some of these you can get from Tesla. However, it's a lot cheaper to get it on Amazon or somewhere else. I tried one that was more, it let light through, so it was like half coverage. However, getting one with a reflective top considerably cuts down on the temperature on my forehead. It can get really hot during 90, 100 degree weather, etc. So that I would highly recommend for the front and the rear. And then speaking of the rear, I don't have it up, but a dog cover is recommended. However, more specifically, since dog covers have been around, is this. This is an insert that just tabs go right into the window, and for dogs that climb on the vegan leather, the side parts of the vehicle, and potentially could scratch it up, this really does two amazing things. It blocks the scratches, and for those who have dogs, it actually blocks touching the window button that lowers the window, which my dogs have found it. You could put window lock on. However, you'll sometimes disable that for passengers, and I've actually had to fight them in terms of like let go of the button, and that really blocks both. And so that's been some of my favorite items. On the interior, highly recommend a couple of things. So you have the all-weather floor mats. If you're getting the standard range or rear-wheel drive Model 3, you're going to get no carpets. And then for the long range, you get carpets. So all-weather floor mats are probably half to a third the price. On Amazon or other places, Teslas are great. These are like 100, 150 for driver, passenger, front trunk, and rear trunk. Aluminum pedals, these don't come standard unless you get the performance. They sell really nice ones for under $20 on Amazon. I highly, while I like these, I've seen them in black, and the black aluminum looks really, really nice. So if we go to the outside of the car, of course, I would highly always recommend tinting. I have tint on the car, and that's always great for heat reduction and privacy. For the front of the vehicle, one of my favorite things, and also how I can tell the difference between my car and sometimes others, as we see all the Teslas, is blacking out the emblems. And I would not use a sticker. You can totally tell on the sides if you're using a sticker, and remove them, look up some videos, or have someone paint them, and potentially someone who does work on ceramic coating your car, or tint, or potentially PPF, which I have on the front as we get a lot of rocks in Arizona, may have the ability to do the emblems and blacking them out, and that'll match the other accents on the vehicle for the newer cars. The front trunk, I still think it's really great investment if you use the front trunk a lot. Those are something that I think is highly recommended. And then these were buttons and caps that cover some areas. I honestly, until I was thinking about making this video, completely forgot that I even did those. So I could totally do without. That's unnecessary ad. That doesn't add too much value to the experience, other than maybe some aesthetics if you care about that. And then speaking of forgetting about accessories, and this is part of it, and maybe it's because what I put in here isn't as accessible, as there is a hidden storage compartment insert that can be added to the car. And I think I have some emergency cash in there. I forget that it's even there, honestly. I do not use that on a regular basis, so take that for what it is. And then finally, the other accessories would be for the trunk. Something that I actually use all the time is you have the all-weather trunk liner. Highly recommend that. And then I have a tire inflator that I use not only for like a bicycle or something. It really does. I had a hole puncture in the tire, and this really helped strave off the slow leak, reinflate it as needed. Try and get those fixed. In Arizona, I guess Discount Tire Shout out to them. They replace and will fix your punctured tire for free. And then the last items that I added more recently is these caps. So these are the aero rims underneath the covers. Curb rash. Oh, really sad there. These are okay. However, if you have these caps on, it can really make the aesthetic, and they're pretty secure. So if you remove these, this is what it'll look like when you take your rim off completely. So they sell like a Tesla cap. You can get it from Tesla directly in each one of the lug covers. However, you actually look at the upgraded rims and other rims that Tesla sells, they all use caps like this. So buying one that similarly matches, and Tesla sells one of these too in black. They don't have it in this darker gray color. I personally think this looks really good and really elevates the look of the wheel because it does actually match some of their upgraded rims and is the best look with the current aero covers. So they just snap on, they're pretty secure, and they do mimic what you'd already see on the upgraded rims anyway. So it's not this weird aftermarket part. It looks OEM, and I think that's been a really good investment for the rims look if you have these and buy the caps. So those are all the accessories that I use. Mainly the front trunk caps. Could go without those, totally unnecessary, as well as the hidden storage in the center console. I forget that even exists. These aren't too expensive. However, it's really not necessary. Everything else pretty much used on a day-to-day basis. Make sure you get a normal sunshade. It's not really a Tesla specific accessory. It's just something I recommend keeping in the car, as well as some microfiber towels for the screen. I don't buy the screen protector. I don't think it's necessary at all, even for your own cell phones. The glass is really, really good. And over 40,000 miles of driving, I've never had a scratch on the front screen as they sell those. And for those buying the front screen, if you are buying a cover, this is something to know, that the material of the cover as well as your phones is of a lower quality than what's stock on the phone for glass. So you may have the perception that there's all these scratches and all these things on the phone or the screen, and you're preventing that. It's more about the hardness or what the material can take, that this glass is of such a high quality, as well as your phones, that scratch wouldn't appear anyways. So this is not something that really matters for the car, in my opinion. If you're doing your car on like Lyft, Uber, or I should actually say Turo, or renting it out, maybe it's you want to avoid damage there. However, it's not something I would recommend, and it's a much better experience, I think, without it. Speaking of the microfiber towels or others, I do have and keep in the compartment is a microfiber wipe, and this is really nice to do a quick wipe down and reach like the dash, because this can build up with dust over time, and it's a really nice thing that can stay in the car. So those are the items that I use all the time. Hopefully it's helpful for you. There's a lot more accessories than that. However, these are the ones that I use on a day-to-day or week-by-week basis that have improved the experience of the car. Talk to you soon. I'll put the links in below if you want to check out where I bought them, if they're still available. Sometimes they run out of stock. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. Appreciate it. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.